our Constitution has astonished those who have sought to whip us and to beat us, because it is, of all documents that exist, an almost holy document because of what it does. And the Bill of Rights, and all of this was ratified in 1790. Now you see, we've gone from 1776, we're free, to 1790, when we finally have a workable Constitution. Well, the question is, what does that have to do with the law and so-called mandates? I'll tell you what it does. What it does is it means that the federal government does not have the power to mandate that every citizen receive a vaccine. If they were to come knocking on the door and say, there's a federal law that says you will be vaccinated, roll up your sleeve or drop your drawers or whatever, it's not going to happen, because it would be a violation of the Constitution. It would be a violation of the 10th Amendment, or Article 10 of the Bill of Rights. And I tell you, I'll read it to you. It's not but 26 words. Powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively, or to the people. I hope you understand what I'm saying there. The Constitution, the powers given to the federal government, are named in the Constitution. They are enumerated. If it's not enumerated, they don't have the power. Now, let's look at these so-called mandates. The first one is, and I'm suggesting mandate is not a proper word. The first one is an executive order on ensuring adequate COVID safety protocols for federal contractors. Well, executive order, as we learned from our most recent president, has the power of law until it's overruled by the Congress or the Supreme Court. It's that old system of checks and balances that I fear is not being taught very much these days. The second rule is from OSHA and has to do with vaccination and testing emergency, and sets out the standard for it. But what affects us is the third one, and that's the CMS Omnibus COVID-19 Healthcare Staff Vaccination Interim Final Rule, typical government speak language. CMS says we got to vaccinate. Now, they have some exceptions in there, but let's start first of all with who has to be vaccinated. Everybody has to be vaccinated who works for the FQHC or a rural health center, including board members, volunteers, student interns, anyone who comes into contact with our patients to whom we owe such a high degree of care, as well as to our fellow staff members to whom we also owe a great duty of care. So everybody has to be vaccinated. One of the exceptions, which sounds silly, certainly for us, since we have become so expert at telehealth, is that telehealth people who provide telehealth services, who do it outside of the clinic and have no contact with any of the staff, don't have to be vaccinated. Well, that's not practical. Of course, they're going to have contact with staff. So this rule is not just to protect our patients, it's to protect members of the staff as well. The exceptions to that rule are two. First of all, if there's a medical necessity, a medical reason, and that has to be backed up by a letter from a practitioner. And that could be something, for example, like someone who's allergic to something that's in the vaccine. I don't know why that would be. I've never heard of it. I'm not a doctor. The other one is a religious exception. And I'm sure, I remember in my early years, you could buy your Doctor of Divinity degree online because we had a group of crazy people who wanted to evade paying